What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about the man in yellow and about who he is. But there was no real build up to him, so let's see what we can figure out about him. But in my last video, I know I talked about how he might be the big bad of the show, but I think it's not as simple as that. And I've also done a little bit of research about the man in yellow to see if we can find any connections, but we'll get into that in just a second. The man in yellow has some distinct physical features that are very different compared to the other creatures that roam around the town. He's also a older looking man and is pretty tall as well, at least compared to Jim here in this scene. But what stands out the most is that he can stand in direct sunlight, and also his teeth are black and his eyes are black as well. But it seems that the writers are pulling inspiration from a book called The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers. It is a series of short stories that are connected to the Cthulhu lore and mythos, but it talks about a powerful deity that manipulates and takes the mind over people, which drives them to madness. There are also major themes of decay and of course the supernatural. But it is not just a character, it is also a play in the story as well that can drive the people crazy while reading it. Also, it says that the King in Yellow is not just one person, but can control many at one single time. Over the many different books in the mythos, he has gotten many different names like Hatzer and Him Who Is Not to Be Named, or the Unspeakable One. And similar to the man in yellow in the season 3 finale, the King in Yellow is a towering man wearing tattered yellow robes, which in some depictions, unlike what we see in From, the King in Yellow is seen with wings or even a halo sometimes. But the same book by Chambers says that there is a sign or a symbol that drives people mad, kind of like the same one that Jade sees. But in the story Eponymous from the book The King in Yellow, it says that the sign does not look like any human script, but is a curious letter written in gold. And in another story in the book, it also says that anyone who looks at the sign will be possessed in some way and driven to madness. Now let's talk about Carcosa. The book The King in Yellow and the play explain vaguely that the city is a cursed and ancient place. In the books, many different stories explain that the city could be on a star cluster named Hyades, or in a completely different dimension. I think that the Fromville is in a different dimension because of how everyone arrived at the town from different parts of the country. But Carcosa is also interpreted by many different authors. One named August Derleth says that Carcosa and the normal Earth would be merged together by the hand of the King in Yellow, which mostly resembles what's happening in From. Also, in the King in Yellow anthology, there is a book written by Neil Waggis set in Carcosa. In an American remake, basically, a man takes an exit that reads Carcosa, and the story explains how the town is almost like an afterlife or a purgatory, and that is a lot of what's going on in From as well. But there are many theories surrounding the man in yellow, so let's talk about a few others that I have came up with. The man in yellow could also be a story walker, but my reasoning for this is that he seems to know what's happening around the town without even being there. Like when he says that Jade can really play a good song, or knowledge comes with a price. But it's almost like if he's already know how's this going to play out. I also think that the boy in white and Ethan have some sort of connection to the man in yellow as well. The boy in white could be the son of the man in yellow, being the force to directly oppose him. And with all the characters seemingly having a pretty major role right now, so far Ethan is the really only one that hasn't had any major significance to the story, at least. And what I'm saying is, I think that he could be the reincarnated version of the man in yellow. What do you think? But with all this information, do you think that From Season 4 has the potential to be the best season so far? I really do hope so. But thank you all for watching, and please like and comment and subscribe.